to Akah and Claire Pod.
Hi guys, you're welcome. I've missed you. We have missed you.
If this is your first time joining us on Akah and Claire, this is a podcast. We started a podcast recently and we're excited about it. We're going to be talking about, things that actually matter to us and things that, that are of interest to us. And we'll talk about it from the perspective of a couple talking with each other. And you guys, all you do is eavesdrop on our conversation, okay? You can use the comment section to drop your 1 or 2 cents, but myself and Claire have been in a relationship for years and years, but we've been married for 4 years. We have a beautiful daughter. She's named Gabby, and she's asleep right now. So if you hear any baby screaming later on, just take it in good faith. But this is my wife, Claire. She looks beautiful. I don't know why she's quiet.
I'm just waiting for my turn to talk. And plus, I'm noticing your podcast voice. You're speaking so, differently. It's too early. Let's be well behaved. So today we're talking about something that I was saying totally irks me. Totally, I can't wait to get into it. I promise.
Oh my God. So today the topic is...
Do we know the topic?
To be honest... We don't know how to phrase.
We don't know how to phrase it. We'll figure it out. But we're talking about best friends.
Best friends?
We're talking about best friends and marriages. Where do you rank your best friend? Should you even have best friends in a marriage? Who is the best friend?
First of all, is your partner meant to be your best friend?
I totally agree that your partner should be your best friend.
Yes. I totally agree that too. And that's in an ideal situation, in an ideal world. In an ideal world.
What's the ideal world?
The ideal world where God created Adam and Eve and they didn't, fall.
But
even God had an ideal and had to deal with the unideal.
Wow. Okay, it's too early. It's too early. But I think that... I guess the follow-up question is, should your partner be your only best friend? Come at me with your answer, boy.
I don't think that your partner should be your only best friend. I don't think your partner is meant to be your only best friend. I think that you can have more than one best friend. And I think that you can have friends for different things in your life. And you can then have ranks. For example, first of all, there is only one top role, and that's the Holy Ghost, who's meant to be your best friend for the toppest, and then the others share the rest.
Who are the others?
The wife and the rest.
I'm sorry for you. let me bring up scripture because it's one a good day.
Hold on, let me finish saying what I need to say. I think that normally you can have more than one best friend. However, there's meant to be a primal position in everything. Yes, you can have best friends, but I don't think that you should hide away anything from your partner. I think that when you're talking about best friends, people make it sound like it's an exclusive position. Once you're married, I think that partner is the number one and should trump every other thing. Best friend is only position that has weight before marriage. After marriage, if you have best friend, carry the title, it's not up to partner because a new position has been created, a new office has been created. It's just
Preach. What's his title called? I don't want to hear wife. Let's call it something else.
It's called life partner.
Oof. I like the precedents we're setting on this conversation.
Yes, yeah. Of course. Now, can your life partner also be your best friend? Definitely. Can your life partner be part of your best friends? Definitely. Can you have a life partner that is not your best friend? Definitely. And I think that's where we want to delve into more today. Now, when we're talking about best friendship, you must have had especially for people, let me take myself for example. I had best friends, and out of those best friends, I then had closest friends.
So I think that the rank usually, girls are the ones that really came up with the definition of best friendships and close friendships. So wait, before we get there, what I believe the rank is acquaintance, friend, close friend, best friend. You can have closest friends out of the best friends. If they are close friends, they are close friends. then they're best friends. Some people now created bestest friend. Let's not be doing too much. Your best friend.
Google says a person's closest friend.
Okay, so Google has many other definitions, right? A person's closest and dearest friend, right? That's just 5 days ago that Google came up with this from what I'm seeing here is 5 days ago. 2019, January 24. I'll take this credit. It says somebody that when something happens to you, good or bad, you want to call them right away. They come first on that list. You want their opinion on things, and you want their understanding on things. Someone you can share your deepest secrets with and know that they will not judge you. This person is someone you can turn to when you need a shoulder to cry on. Your best friend is someone who will always be there for you no matter what. This is a best friend.
Oh my God. First of all, let me first say, this is also the definition of a life partner.
Right.
So the truth is, best friends should actually take a back seat once your best friend marries.
Exactly.
Now, I think that the problem is people don't know how to then resolve those issues that come in life, or people are too quick to try to resolve them. Let me explain this. Best friends, for example, I had several close friends, and then best friends amongst them. I've never been the one to stick to one best friend. I've just never. But I had several, and they all knew. And I had for different reasons, different parts of my life and facets.
Yes.
Now, when we got married, the ideal situation is that my wife is my best friend. But it's true, it's life. We're human. And it took me years to build relationships. So why do we always feel like our wife or our husband will just jump into the position of best friendship? I think these things take time. It takes time to build trust, build relationship, know the dynamic, because we truly don't even know our partners until we marry. Yes, there are people who have been best friends and then they married.
Yeah, because they always say marry your best friend. And I feel like...
marry your friend, not your best friend.
Some people say marry your best friend. Yeah, so when you're in a situation where you've been searching, you have this opposite sex who has been your best friend for the longest time. When we really ask like people who are outside of the Nigerian Lagos circle, they actually say this. It's an actual thing to marry your best friend because they know you longest. They know your likes, your dislikes. They know what you have most likely have similar interests. You're most likely different on many other angles. It's just a safer or quicker way to be engaged on the journey towards marriage. For some people, marrying your best friend is just no-brainer, right? So when it comes to, I guess, because you said something about like people having a back seat once you get married, and you also said that it takes time for married people to now resume that position of best friend. I feel like in our situation, it's sort of different because the reason why we married each other was because we found each other as a safe place where we could share certain things. We found refuge. We could cry on each other's shoulders. I mean, based on all these things I said, it really ticks the box for how we were before we got married. And it may not be the same way for everyone. However, this is ideally your checklist for picking a soulmate, like someone that you're not afraid to be vulnerable with, someone that you know that if you tell them, my guy, I just ran somebody over right now, their first response is not to take you to police to report you like you're a complete stranger, but their first response is to know, okay, what's happened? How can we solve this problem? Let's go back to the crime scene, that kind of thing. Okay,
and
let's
then
not take
you to the police.
And then take you to the police. but Akah, would you take me to the police? Definitely. I wouldn't take you to the police.
What? You're going to hide? No, we'll go to the police together.
We won't.
And then we'll write a police report. At least this thing about marrying your best friend, I've never heard it. I've always just said, make sure you marry your friend. However, I'm trying to put it in my head right now. It just can't work for me. Why? I don't see how you can be sexually attracted to your best friend because...
Akah, you've called me best friend, even the first year of our dating.
No, Claire.
So please, let's talk about us.
Claire.
You married your best friend, didn't you?
No. I married... No, we were friends. We were really good friends.
Yes, so you didn't marry your best friend?
No, I didn't marry my best friend.
Okay, I'm going to pull out a receipt from 2014.
Hold on.
You were celebrating my birthday and you do call me best friend. You're telling me that was a lie?
Wait, you were one of my best friends. That's what I'm saying.
So was I best friend or not?
You were best friend.
Exactly.
You were best friend material. What I'm saying...
People of good.
What I'm saying is, you really recently just stepped into best friend undisputed, number one and only.
Wahala.
And that's the truth, baby.
I'm really going to reevaluate this relationship after this podcast. I'm really thinking about everything we've been through.
No, but baby,
I'm thinking about all the secrets you shared with me. That means you shared with all the other best friends.
No.
That means everything I imagined in the past few years was a lie.
No, the reason I'm saying this is because when I even thought those were my best friends, I didn't know what best friendship really meant.
Oh, so you didn't have any best friend?
I didn't, because your best friendship...
So I was not a shoulder you could cry on?
No, what I'm saying is this best friendship...
I was not the person you told your deepest secrets?
But I did tell you my deepest secrets.
So what are we talking about here?
You're my best friend.
Thank you so much. Can we leave it there?
But babe, when we married, you were one of my best friends, but you were not the best friend. We were very good friends. I cannot see somebody as my best friend, because when you enter best friend, you have entered friend zoning and sisterhood or brotherhood.
No, I don't agree.
I cannot. It will be irritating to me to feel like we will kiss, talk less of. Now, bear children.
No. So we're not talking about it as, oh, your girlfriend.
But you said marry.
No, we're talking...
How can you marry somebody you're not sexually attracted to?
No, so we're talking about, and I'm not saying that it's a good or bad thing, or that's exactly what happened to us. But I'm saying that the characteristics, like, I guess, like the way you see best friends, because you already have somebody that you're calling your best friend, you're looking at that person's...
Not person. I have several people.
Okay.
None of
You're
them.
looking at those persons in comparison to me. So the way that I saw you as a best friend, I think when we were dating, there were also some guys that I was talking to as really, really close friends. However, the things I would share with you, the things that I would do with you, the places I will go with you, right, I will categorize as best friend. The dreams I shared with you, because we're already even dating, even made it even heightened. Once you enter a dating ship with a person, and the person is, you're sharing information, let me let you know that you are already on your way with best friends with the person, because once you start sharing, oh, you had abortion 2 years ago, my dear, that's the person that is holding your deepest secrets, if you categorize that type of information as a secret. So best friend is, you're not, except if you're the kind of person who you're completely open and you just share your life with whoever, close friends, acquaintance, you tell people anything, then we will not have a problem with really giving a hierarchy to who is who and what boundaries you set around the things that you share or the things that you do with people. Coming back to the context of marriage, which is why we're even talking about this in the first place. Best friendships and marriage, your partner, your wife, your husband, is your husband your best friend? And just like Akah said, ideally, in the ideal situation, they are meant to be your best friend. And we've now gone to further like explain what a best friend really is. As your wife, ideally, I am your best friend. And if I'm not your best friend, then we now have to start looking at what are the things that your ideal or your current best friend does that I don't do. Because you know when they say in the Bible that when you feed yourself, you feed your partner. When you feed your partner, you feed yourself. Because of how one you are with your partner, like there really shouldn't be anything that is, you know, new information to them. But I remember there was a time in our relationship where I had not earned the position to be that person that you could vent to in a certain way.
Be vulnerable with?
Be vulnerable with. I mean, you were vulnerable in many other ways.
Yeah.
It's not as if there was a cap. There were many other ways. I can be vulnerable with my friend about my finances. I can be vulnerable with you about my body. I can be vulnerable with another person about my spiritual journey. I can be pretentious to the rest, right? So it's not about a cap. They're just different segments of our lives, and we're like onions. There's always different layers. There are different sides of our lives that you were being vulnerable with me with, and there's some parts that you just went because you're not sure how I would react to them.
That's something that I feel like is also one of the things that stop people in marriages from being best friends. Those expectations in marriage, those, assumptions of the way people will react or behavioral patterns of your partner.
Yeah.
When you feel like, my partner will judge on this issue,
Yeah.
or your partner has shown that they don't have resilience, capacity to deal with certain things, and you can't bring that forward to find friendship. Sometimes people need to understand that you're as a life partner, you're many things. Husband, wife is one office. There's friend, best friend, that's one office. There is companion, that's another. There is mother, father, then there's priest, prayer partner. Do you get? So people need to understand when to switch into different roles.
Yeah.
And so some people just always like to enter the wife or husband role,
or mother even,
or mother or father, without actually knowing when to step in as a friend. When your partner just really needs a friend, sometimes you have to remove yourself out of the situation. I'm like, what does this person need now for them to be better or feel good? Not about me.
Yeah.
And there were times that I couldn't open up certain areas of my life, or even be vulnerable about certain parts, or be close to you, or open up to you on certain things because of how will she take it? Can she deal? Will she be able to? Until later on, when time, trust, fights, and makeups helped us to become closer.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess like the essence of this entire conversation is to even know, like, just so we don't have issues in relationships of which these issues already exist, where wives feel like they're not seen as first call of response from their husbands because the husband has a female best friend.
You're looking beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Because you don't get to see me makeup all the time, right? So when I put small makeup, you're like, But I'm fine without makeup now.
You are the best, the most beautiful.
Thank you. So back to what we're saying, a lot of couples have these issues where, especially new couples, or will I say newly married couples, so they're still trying to navigate the boundaries around my husband's best friend is calling at 9 p.m. or we're out on a date and he's sending pictures to his best friend when we could be having a conversation. Prioritizing your best friend over your partner. And I guess it also happens a lot, mostly in relationships that aren't already in marriage context. So you're dating, and the one that I heard recently was they've been dating for 4 or 5 years, and you all of a sudden just broke up with her. There's been this best friend. She's been managing the she's my best friend thing for a long time. All of a sudden he breaks up with her, and she sees that he's now dating this so-called best friend.
In marriage, or they were dating?
They'd been dating for 5 years. She's been devoted to this guy for 5 years. There's been this best friend. She's been taking, she's my best friend. That's what he says. And all of a sudden they break up and the guy is now dating this best friend. Maybe they marry, whatever. So if you've liked this video so far, please give it a thumbs up, keep commenting, share with your friends as you're watching. I think that Akah and I have had certain issues, like when we were in long distance, and it was even much more problematic for me because I'm not present, right? So this your best friend, I'm seeing you in videos, very close proximity, people's lips are almost touching. You're doing kiss, peck on the cheek, but mistakenly lips brush on each other. But I'm just saying, like, coincidence. You're dressing.
And it wasn't just one.
No, baby.
It wasn't just one best friend. There were a few best friends.
No, but I'm specifically talking about one best friend where you're making jokes and it's almost very personal, right? With this best friend. That's why I would say to be forewarned is to be forewarned. I don't know if that applies here, but just avoid it. If it's going to have any problems, and be transparent. If your partner does not feel confident in the position that they take and are placed in your life, you have not earned the right to have a best friend.
So what you're saying is, if your partner feels less than, or feels less important than this best friend position, then you need to work on that.
Yeah, because if let's imagine that partner even has some insecurities, right? Of which will I say our own relationship is quite different, because I wouldn't say I didn't have any insecurities with Akah being with other people, and still the same way, because I know I'm hot cake and I know that the guy likes me, right?
I don't think it's about being
it's
hot
about
cake
me
or not.
No,
It's not
because
about
some
hot cake.
people no, some people really don't feel like they have value or are heavily worthy, and so it affects the way that they interact with people. And so I just needed that, for the sake of me calling you outside my boyfriend, please respect that, right?
I think that boundaries are extremely important in a relationship, talk less of in a marriage.
Yeah.
Especially when it now gets to third party, relationships. I think that when we're single, our boundaries are what they are.
Yeah.
There are boundaries, but they are what they are. Or there may be no boundaries. But once there is a marriage situation, men and women, but mostly men, find it hard to draw those lines or redefine boundaries, because it's not about there not being boundaries. It's about redefining them again, because life is in stages. Things have happened, life occurrences. That man is a different man. He's transitioned into a different part or season of his life. He doesn't know how sometimes to navigate those seasons. And one of the things to do in navigating, that season of your life where you are now a Mr. to a Mrs. is to redefine relationships across board, and also with your best friend. Again, like I said, it doesn't take a day. You can't jump best friendship on someone and someone can jump out of it. It's not practical, it's not fair, it's not even right. And again, these things take time, it should be earned. Let me say this. The goal should always be for the ideal, which is that your partner becomes your best friend. In the eventual step of that, but again, you must understand this. If your partner is not your friend, is not your very good friend, is not your trusted confidant, that one, you have already started scoring C, going on F. So you need to start doubling up on building a friendship that is built on trust, love, and honesty. Now, when you get into a marriage, you have a best friend, you have to see how you can redefine those boundaries. You will have to have those conversations. Look, you need to, and which I did. Later, because, first of all, I gotta confess, I found it hard to redefine those boundaries, because I didn't even feel like those boundaries I didn't think that there were issues. I didn't think that there were excesses. I didn't feel like those boundaries needed to be reset, because I was just like, I've been living my life and enjoying my life with my friends, and I love my friends, and that's everything. But like now I have to understand that there's someone else in the picture who owns me and owns every part of me, and I should also feel the same. And again, you have to understand that we're two different people. So for me, I'm cool if she has a best friend that is coming to the house, and
you know cool. What? I knew that Akah was actually going to say, hold on,
finish
baby.
my train of thoughts.
Wait, because you interrupted me before.
You have your phone.
Wait.
You have your
phone. I knew
phone.
Akah was going to eventually say, oh, I'll be cool. I'm cool. That's because that's never happened. If I have a male best friend and I carry this male best friend on my head, Akah, it's okay for you to have a problem with it. And it's okay for me as your wife to have a problem with it.
I'm not saying that it's not cool or that it's cool.
Yes,
it's
can be cool
to be uncool with...
Don't confuse me, please.
But what I'm saying is, it is what it is. I'm not the kind of guy who...
A best friend?
A male best friend?
A male best friend that he's the first call of response?
No, it will be painful.
No, I guess we need to really look back at this definition of best friend.
Okay, maybe. But the truth is that this best friendship...
I can know. Before I marry, my best friend is my call...
Hold on, I am wrong. Because now, the truth is, my best friend definition, what I'm saying is, as best friend, is not actually this definition of best friend.
That's what we are going at now.
Actually, you're my best friend. Do you get? But I'm saying that...
Say it again.
Actually, you're my best friend, and you know that.
That's why we really need to emphasize this thing.
Okay.
Marriage, before marriage and marriage, best friendship is... You can't have a best friend in marriage that is not your wife. That's my opinion. Anybody that is your best friend when you're married is not your best friend. Is most likely your close friend, because your wife should be
your
best friend.
Yes, but I'm
Some
talking
people,
of real situations where it's not that. But
okay,
there's a
so no,
transition
so
in
it's just
time that
it's
will
just
happen.
like you saying that, and I get that. It's just like you saying not everybody will be on the level of expertise in marriage as we would be, because they're on their journey, no matter the amount of years, and that's fine. However, there is an ideal. The ideal is your wife is your best friend. Should be your best friend, right? The ideal. However, if there are any cases, just like with guys, I guess some things that you do with Eric and some of those, I can't fill that role because you need your guy friends. There are some things I will do with my girlfriends. You can't fill that role. However, when it comes to being a first call of response, when it comes to sharing my partner needs me, nobody else takes that space. When it comes to certain boundaries and certain things I can do with you, I can't get naked with another guy that I call my best friend.
Yeah. So again, when I was saying I wouldn't mind if you had a best, I didn't mean best friend.
No, don't worry, I've moved on.
So I just meant like a close friend, you know. I'm very cool. I'm not all of that. However, what I'm saying is I didn't, draw those lines or redefine those boundaries across board.
This goes out for guys and girls. Either way, if you're the partner that has a best friend that is opposite sex, if your partner comes to you to say, hey, this thing you're doing with this person in this, and they are specific in this way, it's good to always listen to them, because it's not, there are many other things you could do with this best friend, but this one thing you did with this best friend is upsetting me. Just listen to them, hear them out. Don't make them feel like them wanting a different thing or way of you interacting is weird.
And one of the things that I did was, at that time, I would, use sweet words and calm me down. But I would still go back and, because at that point too, we were in a distant relationship. I needed cope. I needed my friends. I loved my friends.
You can always love. You had many friends.
But
you could always love
I've
them.
always been one of those people. When I was young, I didn't have a lot of boundaries. But again, you have to also take into consideration that I came from a home where everybody's sweetie. Everybody's darling.
Me too. Everybody's sweetheart, but I didn't call everybody sweetheart and darling.
That's not true.
I did. I called everybody on Twitter.
So that's why it was not, in your situation, and that's why I said you also have to take into consideration that people are different. And the way people react to issues is different from the way you would react. The way my wife will react to certain things, different from the way I react. What matters to her is different from what matters to me, or what mattered to me at the time. So at the time, there were certain things that she felt were issues or mattered to her. And I was just like, please, that's not an issue. That's not an issue. But the real reality is that a man or a woman who has a partner who isn't cool with something should actually sit down and say, okay, what are the issues? Understand each other. So you understand where I'm coming from. I understand where you're coming from. And then we find a way to make each other feel comfortable in making that situation not threatening anymore to that person's emotional balance, putting into consideration her own situation of being a different person, being in a distant relationship.
Once you marry, those boundaries need to be set, because it's just like you saying, when I marry, it's going to take me a while for my wife to be wife. Before, it's going to take me a while to be sexually attracted to my wife. So it's like, when you are married, your wife is your best friend. It comes with the requirements for your relationship to work. That's what I believe. Before you marry the woman that you want to say is your wife, if you're not already seeing her as a possible best friend, there's no point.
Yeah.
Don't go there. Don't marry her. If
you cannot be 100 with her.
If you can't be 100 with her, if you
and
can't
if she
rely
can't
on
also
you,
be 100 with you.
Same, both goes same way. If the person, as a girl, person you're marrying, you don't feel like they can be your best friend, don't marry them. Please, let's just spare ourselves all that excess of problems. My train of thought is, from the very beginning of your marriage, you're on a journey towards best friendship. And best friendship would have started, you're on gear 2 or gear 1. But don't say, oh, we're on 0 gear and we'll figure out whether we can ever become best friends. It is the ideal. For a relationship to work, you really need to be completely, I need to feel like if I throw myself, you will catch me. I really need to feel like if the end of the world comes, as you are saving yourself, you're saving me, because that's what best friends do. It's really a ride or die. The ride or die is really about this entire thing. Your friendship, your romance, your commitment is all that together. When people say before they marry, when you're best friends, those best friendships can always be rocky or whatever, because you're not in any commitment to be their best friend till the end. It's ride or die. So we'll now go back to the question of.
So wait, let me finish this. Let me finish my train of thought.
Oh,
so,
wow. I didn't know you were still training.
So again, one of the things people need to do in resetting those boundaries is having discussions and having genuine, honest discussions. And men find it hard, but it's something you need to do. You need to talk to your friends, your closest friends, your best friends, or that best friend, and be like, yo, I'm married now. See, it has to be a formal discussion. Look into my eyes. You have to have it. It was one of the hardest things for me to do, but I had to talk to my friends. Some of them already knew. They just bang, 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 bang. They said some didn't. And I had to have conversations with some of them and just be like, yo, first of all, you have to make my wife comfortable with you. You have work to do. Okay? I don't want to hear any. If you want this, our friendship to work, start making my wife comfortable with you. Start calling. Start checking out. Stop doing it.
Nobody called.
Okay. Start making her feel better about you. Okay? Let her know you. Number 2, there's certain times you cannot call again. If you call me once and I don't pick, free, I'll go call you later. Like, you understand? And just having that conversation and making it known to them that you are prioritizing your relationship with your wife now above the bond of that friendship. Something has come to upset the system. You have to make allowance for it in that dynamic of friendship. Then also, your wife too has to understand that, look, there are friends. Of course, they are not the best friend anymore. She is the best friend. Or you are the best friend as the man. But the truth is, this is not to ostracize or cut anybody off.
Yeah.
It's just to reset boundaries, which can be uncomfortable, but it's needed. You have to talk to each other and be like, yo, look, this friend means a lot to me. How do we make it work? Okay, this can happen. This can happen. The thing is, in time, I can promise you, when these boundaries are set, and everybody gets to that place where everybody knows where their level is, everybody knows where they are.
It becomes quite easy.
It becomes so easy. Everybody becomes happy with everybody. There will be no issue. Do you know that there were issues where you can't call at a certain time? Later on in life, 3 years, 4 years down the line, a friend calls dead of night. Your partner will not be angry because they understand the dynamic, the hierarchy and everything is just working out. So again, especially at the beginning phase of when you're entering into a new phase of your life, you need to reset boundaries. You need to make your partner feel comfortable. You need to make your partner understand and feel like they are the number one person in your life. And you also need to start working your head, your behavioral patterns, your life into making sure that you're taking steps to make that partner the best friend. So who is the person your first point of call? Who is the person will talk to you without. And if you're a partner and you know that when your partner brings stuff up with you first show, me, I'm not comfortable with this. So that's your first reaction. Mm-hmm. Or you did this. How can judgment? You are missing best friend behavior.
You are disqualifying yourself.
You are disqualifying yourself. They are going to look for it in somebody else. So you also have to feel that role, get into that place where you are worthy and that person feels comfortable with making you their best friend. You understand?
Yeah. So I hope we're able to draw a conclusion on this matter.
Conclusion?
A conclusion that prior to getting married, yes, have your best friends. Start working on your best friendship with the person that you intend to marry. And when you marry, that person is your best friend. Nobody else comes close. So that when you're actually giving shout outs and you say, my best friend, you do it to your full chest, right? Other people become your close friends. And just like Akah has friends in different areas of your life. Don't cut people off. Just begin to manage your relationships.
there's sometimes you may need to cut some friends off.
I mean, yeah, when it's, common sense tells you that you need to cut this one off because, yeah. The child is awake and we gotta go. We appreciate you for watching till this point. And if you're new here, hi, we're Akah and Claire. Please subscribe to our channel and we'll see you in our next episode.
And also check us out on Instagram. It's Akah and Claire. Bye, guys.
Bye.